Welcome. Let's look at the situation in Kogi State. Of course, we all know how the election there panned out. It was a straight fight between the SDP's candidate and, of course, the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, who is now the governor of Kogi State. Well, the Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal last week, on Thursday, upheld the election of Usman Ododo as the duly elected governor of Kogi State. The verdict followed the appeal filed by the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, a man we've had on this program, Politics HQ, Murtala Ajaka, against the earlier verdict of the Kogi State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which affirmed the election of Ododo in the November 2023 governorship poll. Well, the tribunal had dismissed the petition filed by the Social Democratic Party and its governorship candidate, Murtala Ajaka, and of course, that's what led them to head to the appeal. Now, also, well, it remains to be seen if they'll go for an appeal at the Supreme Court, but also there was a heated exchange in the Federal High Court on Wednesday during the high-profile case involving Yahaya Bello, the White Lion, as he is called, the former governor of Kogi State, who's facing allegations of 82 billion naira fraud. What was the tension about? Well, the tension centered around the representation of Bello, with his lead counsel, Abdul Wahab Mohammed, SAN, and the federal government lawyer, Kemi Pinheiro, SAN, engaging in what we can describe as a bitter dispute. Well, the conflict began when Mohammed announced his appearance without acknowledging his co-counsel, Adeola Adedipe, SAN, prompting Pinheiro to object. Adedipe then intervened, insisting that he was not prepared to participate in the proceedings. Mohammed also responded by revealing that Adedipe had filed a notice of withdrawal. As the judge prepared to rule on the matter, Mohammed, one of the lawyers, requested to be excused from the proceedings, sparking a fiery exchange amongst those lawyers. And of course, we hear that the trial judge could not take it anymore and walked out of the courtroom. Well, we'll look at more issues regarding this particular court case between the EFCC and the Yahaya Bello, including the application by the former Kogi State governor for that case to be moved elsewhere. Joining us tonight, we have Kingsley. Femi Fanwo is a Commissioner for Information and Communication in Edo State. We're glad to have him join us virtually. Also, Davies Ijele is a spokesperson for the SDP in Kogi State. We do not have Kingsley with us at the moment, so he'll join us later. Davies, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, my brother. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. First of all, let's take your reaction to the Court of Appeal judgment on your candidate's appeal of the tribunal judgment.
Good evening once again, Kofi. You see, you know, and I know, we all know that Murtala Ajaka of the SDP won the 11th gubernatorial election in Kogi State. It's as simple as ABCD. There is nobody, even a child in Kogi State, know what transpired. We are aware of the fraud perpetrated by INEC. We are aware of the fraud perpetrated by the so-called professors that came as returning officers. And if you recall that very day, our lawyer sent an SOS to INEC, and with evidence that there is a fraud going on in so and so local government, that is Okene, Davies, Ogorimagogo, and the rest. In fact, in the issue of Ogorimagogo, pre-filled sheet came to almost all the polling units, and they stood their ground as a good citizen of the state and said, we are not going to support this fraud. And they rejected all the poll from voting. And they refused to vote because of a pre-filled sheet. The same thing happened in Okene and Davies. And that is why you see it's a pure fraud.
Okay, so what are you saying? Sorry to interrupt, Isaiah. What are you describing as fraud? Are you describing what happened during the voting, the polls, as fraud? Or are you describing the court's judgment as fraud?
I'm describing what happened at the poll as fraud.
Okay.
And I'm describing what happened at the court as miscarriage of judgment. The justice err judgment.
How was justice miscarried? Tell us.
It's a miscarriage judgment.
How?
And I'm going to explain it to you.
No, but you have to you have to do that within the ambits of the law, because of course you said we all know that
it is ventilated in the court. Kofi, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
2022 electoral bill made it clear. The means of vote is the means of accreditation is by beavers. Professor Mahmoud said this in Chatham House. Section 64, subsection 4 of the Electoral Bill 2022 as amended made it clear. Section 45, 47, 48, down to 52 made it clear of electronic voting and transmission. Anything other than that is fraud.
All right, but I would like to put it to you, Isaiah Davies. I'd like to put it to you that we have precedents with the presidential election petition called the PEPC judgments, and even all the way to the appeal, the final appeal court, which is the Supreme Court, on the presidential election petitions of the likes of the Labour Party and Peter Gregory B. We have the PDP and Atiku Abubakar. The court was clear about the use of beavers not being compulsory as far as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is concerned and the Electoral Act.
That is why I say it is a fraud. It is compulsory. Let me tell you what happened in the case of the presidential election. The presidential election, the only error from the side of the INEC is the transmission, which according to them, glitches. So all what happened transpired at the altar of glitches. Now, in the case of Kogi State, is a total bypass of beavers. Where accreditation is 50, total vote from the same polling unit is 1,000. Kofi, what is that? Fraud. Where accreditation is 100, the total vote of the same polling unit is 1,500.
So what did the court say regarding all of this? The Court of Appeal, what did the justices say?
This is where the technicalities, and Kofi, you journalists must do something about all these courts and technicalities, especially the appeal and the tribunal court. You don't forget, tribunal is set up by the state. Most of the tribunal are the judges and justices of different states that are comprised of the tribunal case. And listen to this, the technicalities is overriding the substance of the case in Nigeria. And I believe that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu are going to stop this madness.
What technicalities are you referring to? Isaiah Davies, Ijele, what technicalities are you referring to?
Daddy, if you recall 2 days ago, the Chief Justice said that the justice in Nigeria is no longer for common man because they know what is going on. Now, let me tell you technicalities number one in our case. PW1 is a witness that was summoned to court. I want you to follow me carefully.
Yeah. Okay.
By the order of the tribunal. That look, if you recall in the case of Adeleke and Ayetola, it is also a case of overvoting. And INEC fraudulently gave different 2 CTC a conflicting report of beavers to Adeleke and Ayetola. Now, the court in their own wisdom say, look, in this situation, beavers that is the custodian, that harbor, that keep the accreditation of each polling unit should be brought to court so that we can judge outrightly the person that is speaking or the document that is in conformity with the beavers. Because beavers is like a computer, garbage in, garbage out. You can't change the time in a real time. And Kofi, let me give you this example, which is the perfect example of the beavers. This is about the CTC in your house. I mean, the CCTV in your house. Kofi, if you have a CCTV in your house and your phone or your money is missing in the same room, where is your first point of call? CCTV.
So
that you can check real time.
Okay, so what are the technicalities that the justices of the Supreme Court, those of the Court of the Governorship Election Petitions Court, that they use that you disagree with?
We should have brought in people, one, that the PW1 is not front-loaded. Therefore, they cannot take the evidence of the beavers. And the evidence of the beavers is what will prove overvoting. And they deny the PW1, the person that came and ventilated the beavers for 21 good days, Kofi. At the dying minute, the judges turn around to say they are not sure of the identity of the PW1. And the PW1, which was summoned, which was brought in by INEC, was to ventilate, to demonstrate the beavers, and he was asked, how do we know that you can operate the beavers or you are sent to this place? He presented his ID card, a letter from INEC, and a 2 means of authentication, which is the code that was given to him to operate all the beavers, and the facial recognition, which was programmed for him to be able to operate. Kofi, he displayed all this, and he operated the over 500 beavers were displayed at the court, ventilated, record taken by each judges. And at the dying minute, the only thing the judges could tell us, headed by Justice Brini Kudu, is they are not sure of the identity of the PW1, which is the INEC staff. I guess INEC now have ghost staff.
So what were you? What was the Ajaka team, legal team, trying to prove with this witness one?
Witness one is not for Ajaka. What Ajaka team did, legal team did, was to file subpoena application.
Okay.
Yes, and then they called subpoena INEC to bring in all the beavers in all the polls that were containing the result. And INEC, kept all the beavers in the custody of the tribunal. And the tribunal also made an order that it should be kept with a DSS. So each of the court days, those beavers were being escorted to court like a VIP that you cannot come close. And the same judges also subpoenaed INEC to produce an engineer that will operate to ventilate the beavers, and that is PW1. Now, the technicalities they adopted is the PW1 should have been front-loaded by Ajaka team. And tell me, how can you front-load somebody you don't know? Do we know all the technicians and engineers in INEC? Even if we know, assume we even know, how do you know the one that the Professor Mahmoud are going to send? And this is where I always say that, look here, we got to look for alternative. Nigerians have to seek for alternative of those who are in charge of INEC, of those who are in charge of our electoral system.
But I want to say this, that the Court of Appeal, ruled that the appellants, in this case, Murtala Ajaka and the SDP, failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt the allegations against Ododo's election.
How can you prove when they throw away the result of the beavers? How can they prove beyond the result of the beavers? Kofi, I'm telling you, I'm putting this to you, that in your room, there is a CCTV that captured the armed robber, the burglars that entered your bedroom. And the court is now telling you that you brought in the CCTV to court, that you have caught the thief. And now the court is telling you that we are not going to take the report, even with the video showing the face of this man, we are not going to take it because the person that power it, we don't know him. That is technicality number one. Number two, IREF is a document of the INEC. IREF is never a document of the SDP nor Ajaka, the candidate. But do you know what the judges said? The judges said again? They end judgment by saying those documents is from the bench, meaning is from our lawyers' bench. That is not from INEC, and that it is INEC that's supposed to present the document as their own document. Come on now, how can you present an evidence against yourself?
I want to find out with regards to the issue of certificate forgery. Where was Ajaka's legal team able to prove that against Ododo?
Kofi Ajaka team brought in this registrar of the court. First of all, he claimed that he misplaced his certificate on the between Okene and Lokoja, and in what he filled in the space in the column of the certificate acquired was blank to INEC. He only attached affidavit that said, I misplaced my certificate, my secondary school and my primary school between Okene and Lokoja, and that was it.
So how does it amount to certificate forgery then?
No, listen. It is not just about certificate. It's affidavit, the forgery of affidavit, okay. And the affidavit also was forged.
Allegedly.
So
allegedly.
Now,
allegedly.
Affidavit was forged.
Allegedly. Isaiah, allegedly.
Not allegedly, because we brought in the registrar of the court. See, Kofi, I did my affidavit from the same high court in my Tama. I have it. It is on my page. If you have told me, I would have sent to you. I would have sent you the two affidavits so you can compare. The current affidavit issued at the High Court in Abuja is with a code. There is a scan code on it that you don't even know to go to the office to verify. All you need to do is to scan the code and it will redirect you to the page.
It's still within the realm of allegation, so we just want to say allegedly. But
the registrar of the same High Court came and testified under oath that is not their affidavit. And as a matter of fact, they don't work on Sunday. What the judges said again? This is another technicality.
Yeah, tell us. What did the justices say?
That even though we have a good case, in the case of the forgery of the affidavit submitted to INEC, technicality number one, that is a pre-election matter. Meaning, you can stay today, Kofi, and if you are not caught at that very moment, you escape forever and no.
But isn't it a pre-election matter? Isn't it a pre-election matter?
How did it? Okay, so the fact that you stole my video, my phone yesterday, and I catch it today, you say it's yesterday issue.
No, but the Electoral Act is clear. The electoral.
Let me tell you, 2022 Electoral Bill as amended said, if you have a candidate that is found to present a fake document to INEC, upon discovering of such fake document, must immediately, even if they have won the election, will be, dethroned, will be sacked from his seat. That is what the law said. The law did not say it will be a pre-election matter. So that is why 2022 Electoral Bill, Kofi, is the best electoral bill Nigeria have ever had. But the professors are not helping us. It is time for us to look for faithful mechanics that are very faithful, very diligent to become our returning officer and control INEC. Probably will go for Babalao Ogun.
No, but the Electoral Act is clear. I mean, such pre-election matters, whether it's about certificate forgery, the disqualification of the candidate, these are matters that are before the election that should be taken to court before the party takes its name or candidate to INEC, or before the election.
What you don't know. If I'm looking for my phone that misplaced yesterday, will I just start arresting people to take people to court if I have not seen evidence? That is number one. Can you tell me in the electoral bill where in the section of the electoral bill that said if you are found presenting a false document, either you have won the election, you should be sacked. Tell me the law that says it will be a pre-election matter. Quote me any part of the electoral bill that support that claim. That is miscarriage of judgment. Our democracy is in jeopardy. Our democracy is under threat. Our democracy is on crutches. And it is high time that we Nigerians rise up against these professors that are leading INEC. This is almost over 2 decades of professors leading us in all our polls. If they are not doing very well, we should be looking at the alternatives. We can't keep these professors who cannot, even 1 + 1, who cannot become 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Professors who say 1 + 1 equal to 20, 100.
Okay. All right, we'll come back, Isaiah, we'll come back from a break because I want to look at more of this. You've thrown the challenge to me. I hope to meet it when we come back from the break. But also we'll look at what's going on with Yahaya Bello and the EFCC. I want to take your thoughts on that when we return. All right. Welcome back. We still have with us Isaiah Davies, Ijele, spokesperson of the SDP in Kogi State, looking at the matters arising in the Kogi State governorship election petition. Of course, a Court of Appeal ruling that the governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, remains duly elected, and of course dismissing the appeal of Murtala Ajaka, candidate of the SDP. Isaiah Davies, let's talk about Yahaya Bello. Of course, we know that the EFCC has been in court with him. We know that he's not been available, and one or two legal stumbling blocks that this case has faced. What are your thoughts on where the case is right now, particularly the fact that Yahaya Bello has asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to adjourn indefinitely the case instituted against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. This is after he had asked them to transfer the case to Lokoja. He's now asking them to adjourn it indefinitely. What are your thoughts on that? You're laughing.
Do you know that guy is a joke? That guy is a joke. Unmitigated failure of the youth. That is one of the youth that have, in fact, is an insult on even the court. It's an insult on our democracy. Have you seen where a fugitive, a criminal that have embezzled our money?
Hello, Isaiah Davies. Isaiah, I did ask you to stay within the ambits of the law whilst reacting. So you can't call someone who is... Sorry. Isaiah, can I land, please? Yahaya Bello is in court. He's not been convicted of any crime. When he's convicted, then, of course, pronounced guilty, found guilty, we can call him a criminal. But now you can't call him a criminal because he has to undergo the process of the law. So please, let's not do that, use the word criminal to describe him. I beg of you. All right, Isaiah, I don't know if he's there, but I guess you all can understand that we need to do the right thing, which is not to call anyone a criminal until the court says so. So as we are concerned, as far as we're concerned right here on East Central Television, Yahaya Bello is not a criminal. And all the things that Ijele has said tonight on the program are all allegations. So we use the word allegedly. Do we have you back, Isaiah Davies Ijele? All right, we were hoping to discuss the latest developments with the Kogi State, former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello, and indeed the trial. Don't forget, Nigerians have been asking, when will Yahaya Bello be brought to book? When will he be brought to court? The EFCC chairman had said, before the whole world, the entire world, that he will resign if the EFCC does not prosecute Yahaya Bello. And Nigerians have been asking, okay, what's going on? Of course, the EFCC has told the country, the citizens, that the wheel of justice turns slowly. They're in court. They're going through the processes. And, of course, we can see that they had resumed the case in court. So, as we said, Yahaya Bello asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to adjourn indefinitely. Should we use the word perpetually, which is a word that has been used by some judges recently, perpetual injunction and all that. Indefinitely, the ongoing case against him by the EFCC. Small amount of over 80 billion naira. Please forgive me for saying small, but you know what I mean. And of course, he didn't just ask the court to adjourn indefinitely, but also his lawyer made several demands in a letter which was written to the judge, Justice Emeka Nwite. So, of course, we did talk about a bit of a confusion that happened right there at the court in Abuja between the lawyers who were on the scene, and that confusion led to the judge. It's something that you hardly see. It led to the judge walking out of court because lawyers engaged in what we can describe as a shouting match amongst themselves, a shouting match. We've also heard that some civil society organizations are telling all those who care to listen, especially the EFCC, to stop what they call defamatory speeches against Yahaya Bello, the ex-governor. So he has the supporters there. We know what happened when the EFCC tried to arrest him in Abuja. He was smuggled away by his successor, Usman Ododo, governor of Kogi State, and Nigerians, of course, came out to comment and react on this. Will Yahaya Bello, the man who is called the White Lion, be brought to book? Will he be found guilty of any of these allegations against him? Only time will tell. Or will the White Lion roar, as the lion is meant to roar? For now, the lion is nowhere to be found. You know, some people say if you're a lion, you have to come out and fight. But the White Lion is nowhere to be found until the authorities are able to bring him out to appear in court.